Hello, everyone. Welcome to December's webcast. Just going over what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about our gifts and how we align to those and how we discover more about our potentials and what those gifts are. Because as we move into 2020, it's going to become even easier for us to amplify and connect to our gifts because of the energies of 2020. So I wanted to touch on that for a few minutes to begin with to get us started, because it's part of the reason why I wanted to focus on this for December. Because as we move into December in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving into our shortest days of the year. In the Southern Hemisphere, you're moving into your longer days of the year. Either way, we're on those extremes for either side. And even actually in the Southern, you've got lots of fires going on. So that actually can make dark when it should be light. But here in the North, we are experiencing longer evenings, and this these extremes of either longer days or longer nights actually brings in the invitation to spend time at those extremes doing more of a deep dive on our own truth and our own purpose, because the energies are ripe for that during these edge seasons, these extreme seasons. So the energies, just to touch back in with what's coming around the corner in January, are really exciting. They feel really bold, supercharged, very light, very freeing. So all the things that we slogged through in 2019, a lot of those invitations to shift and to change that didn't feel very optional, but felt like they were a must do, not a maybe I'll do this. No, it felt really like you had to shift and change, and like it wasn't an option. So the big difference with 2020 is it feels like there's a lot more levity, a lot more fun, a lot more joy in the shifts and the changes and the new gifts that are going to start showing up for you and start coming online for you. So I wanted to use December as a primer for what's going to start happening in January. In January, on the 12th, we're going to have a really big astrological event on the 12th of January. And I'll be talking more about that in January's webcast. But I just wanted to give you a little precursor that event is a big part of what is shifting the energy for 2020 in general. So now is a great time to hunker down, enjoy the season, enjoy the holidays, your families, and to spend some time in meditation, aligning to those gifts that will continue to exaggerate and continue to amplify in 2020 really quite easily, and with a lot of fun and a lot of levity, a lot of adventure, a lot of excitement, really bold, exciting times we have ahead of us. So I'm very encouraged by 2020 and the energies of it. And I'm very encouraged about you connecting into more of your gifts so that 2020 is in alignment with your purpose, your overall purpose, and it is a blending and a merging of these gifts. So it's good to understand how we identify what our gifts are and how we go about figuring that out. So I'll start off with a little bit about how to do that. And I'm going to pepper in a couple questions that our listeners had sent me over the week to fill out the information and to give you a little bit of background information. So first of all, how do we figure out what our gifts are, our natural gifts, and our natural purpose is? So I would look to your current lifestyle, your current work, your current situation that you're in for some clues. I would go all the way back through your timeline, all the way back to the time that you were a child. What lit you up as a child? What were you interested in discovering? What did you like to spend time doing and playing at? Where did your imagination take you as a young child? For me personally, I spent an inordinate amount of time outside, wandering around in nature. And as I got older and I got friends, I would take them on hikes with me, and we would just explore and discover. We would look for bugs and insects and frogs and toads, and spent a ton of time outside. And this, of course, does have to do with the work I do now, connecting to plants, connecting to my empathic abilities that are always heightened when I'm out in nature. So for me, nature is a big aspect and a big avenue of development for my empathic abilities. For some, that might be the same, or it may be more that you are drawn to the arts or something else. My empathic nature abilities moved into the sciences, but for you, it might move into expressions of drawing or singing, or expressions even of technology and how you are engaged in technology. So even the most mundane type of job, you can discover the ways in which you're doing that job that are clues to what your empathic abilities and your gifts are. I use the word empathic abilities because to be empathic means to be intuitive and to be feeling the energy of others around you. And I'll talk a bit more about that in just a few minutes. But I really do like to look to the cues and the clues of what it is you're engaged in your life, because I know for me personally, as I was going through life, I was interested and drawn to the sciences. I was interested and drawn to DNA. And as it turns out, those things became very important when I stepped into a role as a healer, because that is where a lot of my focus lies. And when I'm focused on the areas that have always interested me the most, that's where I really see my empathic abilities expand and develop and amplify. And that's where I do the most benefit for others whom I'm in service to. So number one, do you feel like you're an empath? And number two, how are you using your empathic abilities in your normal day-to-day waking life? Do you find that you are really lit up when you have a great conversation with a friend and you are connecting with that friend emotionally, and you have the ability to really feel into his or her emotions, and through that connection you feel that you start to shift the energy field between the two of you? If that's so, then your gift is a person who is able to connect with others at a deep emotional level and actually help them to shift their vibration through the emanation of your own vibration. So that's a really wonderful gift that many empaths have and don't even realize they have, that they literally are walking around like little beacons of light, sharing their light and sharing the vibration and the vibratory field that emanates from their heart. And every time they do this, they are sharing a bit of their gift. And many of you probably do this, and you get to share your gift very simply that way. So again, your job could be anything. You could be a secretary, you could be a construction worker, but the people that you work with and the connections you make with friends and relatives and co-workers are the way that you bring that gift forward through those connections you make and through the shifting of the energy fields. Some of us are meant to be facilitators, meaning we're meant to bring people together to act like a magnet and to help people find each other and to help make connections socially, romantically even, all kinds of different ways. So that's another area that you can do any kind of different job, but if you find yourself tending towards making connections between people and bringing the right people together at the right time so that they can connect and create something new, then that's probably your gift. Your gift is recognizing different energies of different people and bringing the energies of people that are congruent together so that they can amplify those energies and create something new. So that's a really wonderful gift as well. There's so many different kinds of gifts, and it's helpful to understand if you're an empath, what type of empath you are, because it does help you to identify where your gifts come in. And it also helps you identify the ways in which you receive energy and information in connection to your own higher self and to any spirit guides that you may have. So, for example, there's lots of different kinds of empaths. You can be an empath to feel animals, you can feel plants, you can feel the emotions of people. You can be claircognizant and not only feel emotions, but also get information, downloads of information that people need to know. You can be the type of empath who feels the earth and feels the energy of a place, or the type of empath that feels the energy of an object and is able to discern information about that that needs to be shared or would like to be shared. Perhaps you're a medium and you go to a place and you feel some of the energy of those who have passed and who have passed through that area, whether you're in a house or whether you're outside. And you can feel the emotion, sometimes the trauma of what has happened in a place or in a house. And that's really important because a lot of times souls are stuck and they're trying to get a message across or energy across before they feel like they can cross over themselves and merge with the light. So that's a really wonderful gift to share both with the spirit world and with the waking third dimensional world, because a lot of times there are messages from the deceased that need to get to somebody who's still alive. So all of these types of gifts are the kinds of things that aren't always obvious. And I really want to emphasize this because for me personally, there were a lot of blocks that I had in that were keeping me from understanding exactly what type of empath I was, and also the extent to which my own connections with the spirit world, the extent of how deep they were. I didn't understand that. And in fact, I would have even told you that I wasn't that connected because there were aspects of me that were blocked or shut down. Um, Mostly in the emotional area for me because of my childhood and because of the skills I learned to shut my emotions down. Because as a child, as an empath, unless you're in this really wonderful setting where you are nurtured emotionally all the way through, which many of us are not, it's really, I would say, common for empaths to shut their emotional feelers down because as an empath, we feel everything in a really exaggerated way. And so oftentimes we turn the dial down on that sensitivity because we don't want to constantly be overwhelmed by other people's emotions and by events that are going on around us. It's really just too much, especially for a little body to take. So as children, we learn these skills and it's a little tricky to undo. It's a little tough to undo. I'm still working on it. It's something that I have to consciously undo because I'm so hardwired to shut down that dial when I'm in a big crowded place or when I'm around a lot of people. A lot of times empaths turn to distraction. They turn to, either exercising a lot or drinking or smoking or some vice or eating, some vice to kind of take them out of their current reality so that they can dial that down. Actually, sugar is one of the ways that people often turn down their sensitivity of empathic abilities and feeling other people's emotions, because sugar has this odd sort of deadening effect of connection to each other and to spirit. And so when we reduce sugar, clean up our diet, don't drink alcohol very much, start to meditate and connect into our heart center, well, then it really amplifies all those empathic abilities again. And if you're not prepared for that, or then if you don't have good methods for allowing those energies to flow through you, wow, it can really feel overwhelming. So as we step into and amplify these gifts, it's good to remember good energy hygiene and not taking on the energy of others as you do so. There's nothing better than being sensitive and empathic. I have to say that it truly is a superpower. And for those humans that are naturally wired to be more empathic and sensitive, I do feel like life is actually easier when you learn how to harness that ability and when you learn how to process energy so that it doesn't overwhelm you. It really does make life so much richer and so much more interesting. Not to mention, connection into the spirit world is absolutely wonderful and so enriching and so engaging, and just really has made my life so much fuller and so much warmer, I would say. Just those connections with spirit really bring in a lot of beautiful emotion and feeling into the body, because that's really the truth of our being, right? We are spirits and we're having a human existence and a human experience right now. But at our core, we are these beautiful energy beings. And so when you get to connect into that other side, the whole energy side, it really does create a warm, loving, beautiful feeling in our physical bodies that helps to remind us that we're more than just this experience. So it really is a superpower to engage and amplify these empathic abilities. And it really will help us to engage in and enjoy the coming years, especially 2020, where we're going to get to step into using these gifts in a much more prominent way. So Shara asked a really great question about bringing new gifts online. So, for example, if you're in the process right now, you've had some gifts in the past, and you feel some new things coming online. And I know certainly by the time the end of January comes along, you'll be connecting into new gifts and new ways of using those gifts. She asked a great question of wondering, do the old gifts that we had used before, do they go dormant? Do we stop using them? Or in our new energy 4D/5D awareness, do we start to integrate all the old with the new? And the answer to that is that absolutely, truly, we do start to integrate the old with the new, because the old is the building block for the new. We don't get to the new without having the experience of what we were doing prior to that. Even if that experience doesn't seem like a metaphysical gift, it most certainly was your metaphysical side or your higher self directing you and getting you into the flow of doing some sort of work or having some experiences in order to bring you to the place where you are now, so that you can have new experiences and new connections into your gifts going forward in 2020. So I want to say that everything that has happened to you, of course, is part of your purpose, part of your life path. And that is all rich fodder for development of what's to come. We don't get there we don't start in the middle, we start at the beginning. And the beginning has been from the minute you got here on this planet. And that's why I wanted you to think about what lit you up as a child, and where did your imagination go, and what excited you, and what did you like to do for play? What do you like to do for play now? Because that's what 2020 is all about. It's all about play. It's all about having fun with your gifts. It's not about, oh God, I'm an empath and I got to use this and I got to connect to people I don't really want to. No, it's actually all about how do you do this and have fun at the same time? Because that's what 2020 is all about. And I love that about 2020, because I think we've all been on kind of a long slog of dealing with a lot of tough energy and a lot of life lessons that have been pretty challenging. And it's time for us to start having some more fun again. And I'm pretty excited about that, I think, as you can probably tell. Just getting back into that empath question, there's all these different kinds of empathic abilities. And really, for you to understand which kind of empathic ability takes some inward focus and takes some soul searching and takes some meditations. For example, tonight I was meditating before we got on the call. And I, over this past year, have felt a tremendous amount of elemental energy coming forward. You probably noticed that a lot of the tones that I do sound almost Native American. And I don't have a lot of experience with Native American traditions. It's just that is the energy I feel coming through me. Of course, the Mantis are within the earth. And a lot of the beings that I work with, the earth logos, are very elemental in nature. They're very earth-centered. And so because of that, a lot of the tones that I use are in that vibration of the earth. And the Native Americans were very connected to the earth, whether they're Aborigine or whether they're American, Indian, South American, North American, it doesn't matter, or the shamans from Europe or Russia. The people who were on this planet long ago, thousands of years ago, had to rely on Mother Earth for their information and their guidance. And as such, they connected into elemental energies. And I really feel a strong connection into those elemental energies. And I wanted to share that when I was in meditation before this webcast, that I'm still connecting into new aspects of that. For example, I felt the energy of grandmother spider come forward. Now she is an energy that is probably best known in the shamanic traditions. And I don't actually know, I'm sure there's a whole bunch of information on the internet about what connection to her means. But I want to share with you what the connection to her meant for tonight. So she brings her energy forward because she helps us to spin the web of energy around our thoughts and to help us make connections. So like the spider's web, each fleeting thought that you may have while in meditation or in dreaming, and I'll talk about dreaming in just a moment, she helps it weave together. She helps weave together those points of light that are fleeting and sometimes drifting in while we're doing a mundane task, such as washing the dishes or doing something else. And she helps weave together a cohesive picture for us to connect into and to understand. She helps to bring coherence and connectivity to aspects of your life that are seemingly disconnected, but that are connected into a whole tapestry of your abilities and your skills. So she comes forward tonight to help with this energy and this transmission, to help you understand that each one of you spins your own web of skill and spins your own web, your own tapestry of beautiful energy that you bring to this planet. You are each unique. You are each engaged in your environment in a totally different way. And that is the thrill and the excitement of this life here. It is the way that you engage with your environment, with all of the people in your world and all of the energies around you. And it is what you make out of what is in front of you. It is how you interact with it. What story do you weave? Grandmother Spider always weaves a beautiful tale. What is your tale and what do you want it to be? Because we stand at the precipice now of a time on this planet in which we will be creating new stories, new energies for new stories. It's a very exciting time. How do you want to show up and what do you want to weave for this new energy on this planet for 2020? What do you want to bring in? What do you want to amplify? So spend some time in meditation and connect into the earth and allow the elementals of this planet to remind you of your origins, to remind you of beautiful shamanic traditions and energies that are rich and deep within the DNA of your being. Because you are a mosaic of DNA. You are a mosaic of experience and of lives that have been lived on this planet and in other dimensional spaces. And Grandmother Spider helps you weave together all of those experiences and skills that you bring forward from other aspects and other lifetimes to manifest themselves into a beautiful tapestry in this lifetime, right here, right now, in this now moment. She's going to help us tonight to pull forward some of the energies from those other lifetimes and to weave them together with what you have created in this lifetime for a beautiful display and a beautiful web of creation that you bring forward for humanity at this time. Each of you has your own unique way of connecting to and interacting with humanity, with those who are with us still and who are deceased, with the cosmos, and with the one cosmic being. You all have your own unique way. And that is the beauty of this experience. We are both unique and yet part of the whole. At no time are we separate from the whole. We are always, always weaving the story within the larger story. It is always connected. It is always part of that whole, that one cosmic being that we all emanate from. It is a tremendous adventure that we are on. And you get to decide how you bring forward those gifts that you have culminated through time and space, countless lives, to come forward and showcase them for fellow humankind, for the animals, for the plants, for all life on this planet, for the rocks, for the dirt, for everything here, for the oceans. How do you want to interact? What is it that calls to you? There's so much healing that is needed on this planet. There's so much energy exchange that is being called for during this time. How do you want to weave your story? What is the web you will leave for the rest of humanity to learn from and to continue to build upon? That is what is called upon right now from all of us. It is to step forward and be bold with what you are good at. Be bold with what feels like it wants to spring forth and emanate from you. Do not be shy about it. Allow it to flow forth from you and come into full fruition. This winter and early spring is going to be a wonderful time for you to allow that to ripple from you out into the energy fields around you. It's an exciting time. So I wanted to share that information from Grandmother Spider, and she indeed will be bringing her vibration and her tone into our tones tonight as we amplify some of the crystalline codes to help your DNA awaken to information that flows in like memories. It's like genetic memory that vibrates through your DNA to remind you of the wonderful things that you have done in your past lives, in your future lives, technologies that you are aware of, ways of interacting with each other from the past. So many exciting things to connect to hone, to have fun with. Again, it's a time of excitement and joy and fun and levity that is coming. Don't let what is happening on the planet fool you into thinking that there isn't a lot of fun to be had here, because there absolutely is. And where you place your focus and your intention is what will show up for you in 2020, because 2020 is all about you vibrating in accord with those aspects of you that are easier, that are lighter, that are joyful. It is time to bring that aspect into humanity to lighten and to increase the vibration of this entire planet. So that is an exciting thing we have on the horizon. So as you connect into your empathic abilities through meditation, through connection to the earth, you are invited to begin to recognize thoughts, no matter how fleeting they are, about what it is you do, how you bring and show up your energy to this world, and how you can continue to allow that to unravel and to expand into an even greater showing of yourself on this planet. How do you step out even more boldly to present your gifts to the world? It's great. So I really appreciated her coming in because was told that there was an elemental that wanted to participate, and I absolutely had no idea who it was until I went into meditation and I saw her. And at first I thought, oh, that's a little scary to tell them there's a giant spider that wants to speak. But Grandmother Spider is fantastic and so wise. There's so much wisdom that we all can tap into. There's so much wisdom that we all possess. I mean, we are vessels of wisdom and we merely need to tap into it. So one of the things that I do mention to you a lot, but I want to mention it again because it's so important, is that when we're trying to connect into gifts, it's really important, of course, that we invoke and engage our higher self. Because our higher self is where we have access to our whole timeline, you know, back, front, forward, sideways on the z-axis, all those different lifetimes that we have lived and yet to live. Everything, of course, available in the now moment. And the way that we engage in that is really through the center of our heart. So the more we allow our awareness to shift from our brain into our heart, the more we're able to connect into our truth, into our purpose, and into our gifts, because it allows us to allow the higher self to do more of the driving and to do more of the engagement in our life. And when that happens, then we get out of our fear and we start to connect into our potential and our possibility. And so always connect into your heart. Do it several times a day. Make a habit out of it. Make a game out of it. Whatever you have to do. Remember to drop into the heart. Think about something that brings you joy, that brings you into a state of warmth and comfort. What happened that brought you into that state where you felt connected to another human being, or whether you felt joy, or whether you felt that warm and fuzzy feeling in the center of your chest. That actually is you engaging out of your head and into your heart by having those memories. It also, of course, raises your vibration and your frequency. So when we raise our vibration, it makes it easier for us to meet our higher self on the same plane of vibration, so that the information flow comes easier. That's why sometimes it's hard to hear our higher self or our guides when we're just going through our mundane, third dimensional everyday tasks, but then becomes a lot easier if we sit and meditate, or we connect to the earth, or we connect into an animal or another person, or we step into working with someone through Reiki or healing, whatever it is, or even just having a really deep, meaningful conversation. Then it's easier to connect into those aspects of ourself that are prominent because of the higher self, because you're letting go of the stories in the mind. You're letting go of all of those programs, those pre-programmed programs that started from the time that you were a child, that you were told, no, don't do this, don't do that, be afraid of this, be afraid of that. So it's about getting out of those programs of fear, letting those go, and stepping into the heart field so that we can expand that higher self knowledge, and that wise, wise woman or man that you are. All of that wisdom that you can tap into is really important. So always engage into the heart every day. Don't forget to do that, because that makes discovering your gifts and amplifying them that much easier. We're going to do some special tones tonight, which I'm excited about, with the help of Grandmother Spider and Maree Mantis, to bring in some energy to your DNA, to remove some blocks. So sometimes we can have blocks. Sometimes we can have stuck energy that has accumulated. And again, we had a pretty challenging 2019. It didn't feel really that optional to make some of the changes we were required to change. And that was pretty confronting for a lot of us, me included. And so because of those experiences, sometimes we can have a little vestigial muck left over in the DNA. So we're going to do a little cleansing, purging process of the DNA, and some amplification of your potentials and some of the excitement that your guides have for you. There's, I can feel lots and lots of people in the room with me tonight helping with this energy transference of information. not so much an energy transfer, but really a crystallization of your DNA, and bringing in new codes of information and awareness for you. Remembering that we talk a lot about being, and I do this too, but talk a lot about how we're in third dimensional reality now, and we're shifting into 4 or 5D, and how 2020 is going to be accessing 4 and 5D a lot more. I want to make a note about that, in that I want you to know that you are always in the full dimensional spectrum, you know, from this dimension all the way up to 12 or 13. And it has everything to do with where your awareness is and where your vibration and energy is, to help you to feel or to recognize those other dimensional realities. To me, they look like they are around an atom, like all these different dimensional fields, and that they weave in and out of your awareness or your presence throughout your day. And so when you're having those moments, say, of daydreaming, and you feel like you're kind of traveling out, or if you're dreaming, you might be traveling into other dimensions. And it's easy to do because they're always around us. It's not like you're going to get to some point and graduate into the 4th dimension or the 5th dimension. Those different dimensions are around you all the time. So if you think, oh, if I was only more 5D, then I'd be able to discover my gifts. Well, no, you are 5D. You're all the dimensions. Really, it's just about where you're tuning your awareness to. So when you spend more time in meditation, you spend more time in your heart center, you're going to start to see those synchronicities and have more rapid manifestation and have more connection into seeing those points of light coming together, which is all part of being 5th dimensional. Because you're shifting your awareness into that field. You're raising your vibration so that you're able to detect and understand and experience 5D. So I just want to make a note about that, because that's going to get talked about a lot in 2020, because those energies are so expansive and exciting. It feels very 5D. And really what it is that more and more of us are starting to raise up the overall energy field of humanity, because so many more of us are engaged in shifting the energy on this planet and lightening things up and meditating and releasing and intending to put that beautiful, heartfelt, heart space energy into the whole cosmic energetic field around everybody. Around all of humanity. So that is making a difference. It's making a shift. It's starting to happen. That shift has happened. It's happening. So just a little note about that. I also want to make a note about dreaming before I start in on the tones, because Nancy had asked a great question about how we can connect more to our dreams and how we can remember our dreams better. And this is actually related to our topic tonight, because it is in the dream state or in the daydreaming state, often when we are given nuggets of information and clues to what it is that we're really good at, or some ideas for where we can take our gifts and ways in which we can interact with people. The way Nancy asked how we can remember our dreams better. And there's all kinds of information out there about how to engage in lucid dreaming. But a few tips that have worked for me for increasing my dream recall, first and foremost, is to keep a dream journal and to have it beside your bed with a pen and a little light. So a nice, soft, dim light so that you can write something down. The other second thing is to make the intention every night before you go to bed and say to yourself like a mantra, tonight I will remember my dreams. Tonight I will remember my dreams. I started doing that each night, and I actually had to stop because I was working full time at the time and had to get up really early. And I still have to get up early because of my kids, but it's the other reason why I stopped doing this. But I literally woke up 5 times in one night. Every time I had a dream, I didn't actually realize how often we dream. I woke up after every single dream, and I remembered every single one of them because I sat, and did this mantra and this meditation before I went to bed. So if you're serious about lucid dreaming and wanting to recall your dreams, you can intend that you wake up after every dream. And you could do this on a weekend if you've got some time and you don't mind that the next day you're a little groggy, because you can always take a nap. That's no big deal if this is a project you want to work on. And it really does work. So that's a great way to remember your dreams. Then write them down. And then you can start to monitor and see over time what comes up in your dreams, because we are forgetting a lot of our dreams. I realized after that I am in the dream and experiencing the dream while I'm having it, but on the tail of one dream is another dream. And so you tend to forget what happened in the first couple of dreams and maybe only remember the one that you have right before you wake up in the morning. I know that was certainly the case for me. So keep that dream journal. Some things that you can do or take orally, you can take vitamin B6. That certainly has helped me to have more dreams. You can use a tryptophan supplement, which also helps to boost serotonin levels and also helps with dreaming. The other thing are there's some herbs, some natural herbs that you can have as a tea. Kava kava has been shown to help with dreaming, and it certainly helps me. Passion flower is another one that you can use as a tea before bedtime. And let's see, there's another one. Let's see, I think I wrote it down. I'm not sure where it is. If I remember it, I'll think of it later. I know what it is. It's valerian. That's it. Yes, it's valerian. So all of those things help to relax you and also help to instigate dreams, and or perhaps it helps you to remember your dreams, because I believe we're all dreaming every night. It's just that we just don't have a tendency to remember the dreams, especially if you don't sleep well. Sometimes you never seem to get into that deep dreaming state. And so it's important to make sure you get good restful sleep so that you can get to the stage where you start dreaming, and then start recalling the dreams with that journal. And then as you start recalling them, you can see what's coming up to see how it pertains to any gifts that might want to come through and show up for you in that tapestry that you are going to weave in these coming years, and with 2020 starting off with a bang. So that's pretty exciting. If anyone has any other questions they want to post to me before I start doing the tones, feel free to do that now. There's just a few of us online tonight because of the later time. So if there's anything that was missed, you can send me an email and I can drop you a line over email too in the next coming days. So I don't see anything coming in on the chat. I'll just give it a moment. And let me make sure there's nothing else. And I think that's it. So I'll give a little precursor to these tones again. I talked about how these tones are going to help us to remove some blocks. Really what we want to do is we want to clear the landing field for your arrival of lots of new aspects of you. So as we amplify and open the aperture of our heart field and allow the higher self to do more of the driving, it really basically, you can think of it as like creating this airstrip, and this higher self is going to fly on in and is going to bring with it a lot of gifts for you as well. Because the thing about gifts is that when you share your gifts with other people, it gets reflected back to you. Because especially empaths have what's called mirror neurons in the brain. And these mirror neurons, actually, they're all over the body. They're in the heart, they're in the brain. We have receptors all over for them. And it's why some people feel viscerally in their body what others are feeling in their bodies. It's why we receive information from people energetically, and why we feel the emotions as well as empaths. And the neat thing about that is that when you share your gifts with others, what you are doing is you're doing it in a purposeful way. you are being an empath, but an empowered empath, because you're empowered because you're engaging in the energy field around you. It's not that your energy field is overwhelming you and engaging you. You are proactively engaging your energy field with your gifts. So it's like you are fully coming online. Your higher self is coming online and is engaging with this reality in a way that is amplifying the energetic field. It's amplifying your own special gifts and way of showing up. It's weaving your story in a miraculous way. It's bringing forward all those aspects of you that have wanted to shine through. And so it's an exciting time, and it's also something that is going to benefit you. It's not just that you have gifts to benefit others, it really benefits you at the same time. Healing in our bodies can occur through the healing of others. When we step into a role of service, it's like we complete a link of the chain that was missing sometimes. And it helps us to heal. It helps us also to not focus as much on our own issues and problems, and to actually move our energy outwards so that we get out of the way, actually, because a lot of times we can get in the way of our own healing because we get too narrowly focused on certain aspects of it. And so when we step into a role of service, it actually helps our guides to get us out of the way, get us distracted on another project so they can come in and do their work that they've been wanting to do. So remember that as we clear the landing strip for your higher self to bring these gifts for you and for others, there is this beautiful, congruent, combined relationship of connection and response and reaction for both of you, for anyone that you're with and you're working with. So we just wanted to share that. So we're going to be clearing some blocks, opening up that aperture, and we're going to be working in the DNA to bring in some beautiful crystalline codes of information to amplify those aspects of your DNA, and to amplify the connections into your etheric DNA that is always hovering around the physical DNA, to highlight those things that you've already learned in other lifetimes and that you are yet to learn in lifetimes in the future, if we're focused on this timeline right now. So think in either direction in your timeline, past, future, and technologies that you're aware of, and experiences you've had in the past. All of that coming into fruition right here, right now, in this now moment, because the beauty of every single now moment is that it has connection into every single other now moment that ever was and ever will be. So that's the beauty of it. So we pivot on the head of that pin on that now moment and connect into all aspects of ourselves, our gifts, and the way that we've come to share those with all of humanity and indeed all of the cosmos. So please get comfortable and close your eyes and start to take some nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Allowing the breath to connect you into your body, all the way down to your root chakra, connecting and rooting you all the way down to the center of your being. As always, we now send roots down from our physical body, down through the floor and into the earth below us. Those roots connect into the earth and they spread out, moving down through all of those energies and layers, down to the center, to the core of Mother Gaia, connecting into her energy field and anchoring your energy to hers, helping you to feel all of the wisdom of the elementals that inhabit the energy fields of the earth, present here this evening to help all of us to connect into all aspects of our being so that we may create together this new earth, taking advantage of the new vibratory field that is all around us, happily participating with all plants, animals, with all elemental beings, with all humans, and engaging the energy of the world, of this earth, to create anew and to bring forward that which emanates freely and naturally from us, through us, when we connect into our soul energy, our higher self. We send all these beings, all these elemental beings, gratitude and love for all of their support, for helping to create and nurture this environment that we live in, that we find ourselves in, this experience that we get to have here. We draw up energy from the earth. We draw it up with the inhale, bringing it up to the body through our roots. We draw it up and pull it up into our physical being. It flows up as light, moving up through our legs, through our bodies, up into our head, down through our arms. It begins to interact and merge with our DNA and every cell in our body, all of our tissues, our organs. It brings us into harmonic resonance with all beings here to support the earth, to support humanity, with earth. Helps us to feel connected to each other, connected to the one cosmic consciousness that created all of this. It helps us to vibrate in congruency with all of our potential. So we now bring your focus to the center of your chest, dropping your awareness into this part of your body. You may place a hand upon your chest to feel into this aspect of yourself, knowing that it is here that we connect to our soul, to our soul's purpose, to our path, to our alignment with the all that is aspect of ourselves. Each one of us has a clear path to all that is within us. We are both individual and yet part of the whole, the greater consciousness. We are not separate, we are part of that whole. The heart connects us into that whole and helps us to feel whole. Feel the connection and feel the opening in the heart chakra as we send energy into this space of your physical being. We open up this space, and through these tones, we allow it to expand and to release anything in the physical being, any organ, any tissue, any bone, any cell that is holding on to old patterns, old programs that perhaps were created in fear or in avoidance or resistance. it helps to release those and relieve those. And this energy that we flow from the heart will clear those, cleansing those cells, releasing and realigning all cells to this vibration of vast potential and joyful expression of your highest purpose and gifts to be shared with all. Ya na na e ne ne o ne ne yo. Ya na na e ne ne ne. Take some nice deep breaths and let that energy flow through you, through the cosmos and down into the earth and back up again, moving effortlessly both directions through you, like the tree receives the carbon dioxide, the sunlight, the water, also receiving the nutrients from the soil, from the earth, both flowing through the tree in either direction. It is the same for you. You root into the earth, you connect and commune with the cosmos, and bring both energy flows into balance through your being and through the expression of your beautiful tapestry, your story that you weave every day and bring forward for all to experience, for all to benefit. There is so much love and joy and excitement for all of you for this coming year, for the amplification and the manifestation of your gifts, for the fun, for the joy that you get to experience through the expression of these gifts. We are so pleased that you are here. So much gratitude for your presence, for your participation, for your willingness to continue to allow all aspects of your being to present themselves, to blossom, to flow forward for the benefit of all souls who are here and all souls who have ever been. Thank you. Peace and love be with all of you. Enjoy your families. Enjoy the seasons. Enjoy every interaction you have. We love you. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed that. It was my pleasure to be with you all tonight and to share this information and energy with you. I look forward to seeing you all again in the new year, and we'll talk lots more about what 2020 has to bring for us and how we can show up and participate in all of that excitement and joy, and what is coming next, and how we'll participate in this exciting time. Thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. Take care. Happy holidays to all of you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.